Hey, welcome back. This is video 12 of the fantasy art elemental sketchbook that I'm working on. This is another water piece. I was going to go with another section of the sketchbook, but this one kind of stood out to me. And so I do have other art pieces that are coming up that I will be putting on my channel, but it has been a really busy couple of weeks. We've had a death in the family, and we had another cousin that was born, and we were out of town, so everything has just been kind of thrown up in the air, and we've been really busy just trying to get everything done. But now I'm back in my studio and just trying to get everything completed. And so here we are. I am inking this piece in. And if you'll notice in the video, like every so often I'll pick up my pencil and I'll change some of my lines around. And that happens sometimes. Like sometimes you can draw something and, you know, not totally be happy with it until you start working with it more. And then sometimes you just want to change things around. So within this piece, periodically I am erasing and taking old lines out and trying to figure out what I'm doing. And this piece, you know, is just a mermaid in a pond underneath the water lilies. This piece is going to get colored in, and so that's what you'll be seeing in this video. I am using my Staedtler fineliner pen and a Japanese calligraphy pen, and then I switch off with like a uniball fineliner pen. Sometimes, you know, my go-to pens when I'm using them, depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes the pens don't work out that great, and, you know, I change my mind or I just need something a little different. So, you know, don't mind me going back and forth with my pens. Like, I'll leave the description of the materials that I've used in the description box below. And you can find these pens just about anywhere. You can find them at Walmart. You can find them at your craft stores like Michael's or Joann's. The Japanese calligraphy pen is something that my friend found for me on the Wish app. So I periodically use those pens, but because I'm not putting a lot of ink work into this piece, I'm not going to be using that one a lot. So I'll be using my Copic markers to color everything in, and I'm not doing a whole lot with this art piece. Prints are available after the videos are posted, and then later on the entire sketchbook with all the originals will be up for sale. So just look for that, or message me if there's any particular piece that you guys really like. That way I can get the artwork out to you. This mermaid, I wasn't intending on doing any more mermaids because I just got done finishing my mermaid coloring book, and I'd drawn so many mermaids that I was really convinced that I just did not want to draw another mermaid for a really long time. So it was kind of surprising to me that I would come up with another mermaid piece, but you know, you can't have a fantasy sketchbook and not include at least one mermaid. So here's the new mermaid piece, and with this sketch piece, you know, there were mistakes made. I went in and I added all these little black marks in the water, just kind of like the little bits that are floating around, and I didn't give my ink enough time to dry. So as I'm going over with the Copic markers, you will see a little bit of bleeding going on, but it really doesn't affect the art piece that much because the water is supposed to be a little bit murky. So, you know, everything is kind of, you know, a learning curve. When you're using your materials and, you know, sometimes you think you know everything that's going to happen with them because you've used them for so long. Sometimes, you know, new things happen. And so you just, you know, as an artist, you have to kind of accept when, you know, things don't quite go right with your art pieces or with your materials. And you just plan for, you know, the next art piece, you know, how you're going to make it better. And, you know, you learn from your mistakes. And so, you know, with these art videos that I'm doing, it's like, you know, kind of like me documenting my art journey and not taking myself too seriously, like just learning from my mistakes and going forward. So with some of these markers, they are refillable. I don't have refill inks for some of my markers. So, you know, in the middle of this coloring part, you know, some of my markers were running out of ink. So I had to switch my markers up and just work with what I have. And that in itself is a good learning experience because, you know, it happens. You're going to run out of materials. You're going to run out of whatever you're working with. And you kind of have to just learn on the fly, like, you know, what's going to work with what you have. And, you know, not everyone has, you know, all the expensive, you know, equipment or markers or art supplies, and you just kind of use what you have and, you know, just experiment. And, you know, that's what art is experimenting and seeing how far you could push your materials and what else you could be doing. And for the most part, you know, these markers did stand up, they did last. But I am going to have to buy refills for, I think, at least 4 of my markers. And with these Copic markers, you can buy the refills at like Blick, the physical store, or even their online website. They don't sell the refill inks at Michael's, which is kind of a bummer because they sell the markers there, but they don't sell the refill inks. So that can sometimes be annoying. On this art piece, I also use white gel pen to kind of make everything pop a little bit. And, you know, it's, you know, sometimes when you're drawing something, you might not have a reference or whatever for that art piece. You kind of have to just figure out where everything goes and what it would look like, or what you would interpret what it looks like. So, you know, I didn't have a reference for this piece. I just kind of drew it out and figured, you know, I'll just keep adding to it as time goes on. So a lot of pieces that were in this sketchbook, I had sketched it out when I had the time, and I just kind of left it. So when it was time to work on it, you know, I can either add to it or take things out. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to do that, to be prepared, you know, for future videos, have things already pre-planned out so that you're not just scrambling last minute. I was trying to experiment here with her skin tone, trying to give her, you know, just different color skin. You know, she's under the water, her skin is not going to show as brightly with like the peach colors and the fleshy colors. So I tried using, you know, some greens and gray and, you know, some blues. And, you know, it's nice to see what else you can use for things that you wouldn't normally think, okay, well, I'm going to paint her skin a different color. But, you know, it's a fantasy creature, and, you know, you could do pretty much anything you want. So experimentation with your art is very important. And it's, you know, it's fun. Art is supposed to be fun. You know, it's supposed to give you kind of like a, you know, sense of like therapy and release, and, you know, you could do anything you want with your art. And, you know, I guess that's why I like drawing my fantasy creatures so much, because it's my interpretation. There's still plenty more fantasy creatures that I will be working on for this sketchbook, but I will be working on other projects as well. So it's not going to be every creature in the whole sketchbook that will be shown in these videos. I will be changing it up from time to time, and I'll be doing some more comic book work and some paintings. And I do have a lot of paintings that I'm working on at the moment. So I'll be posting varnish videos and painting videos. So, I mean, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me. All my information is listed in the description box below. And like I said, I do have art prints available of all my art pieces. And I also have art that is for sale that's on my Instagram. So check out the description box and take a look at the art, and let me know what you think. And this is almost the end of the video, so I'm just gonna leave this here and let you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.